Hi, so we are Team Shabari, or we actually renamed it to Team PatientOS, the name of our app. To those of you who were there yesterday when we were pitching, we actually pitched separately and then we kind of joined up later because I realized that we can combine our initial pitches to form a suite of solutions. Before I start, my name is Rishabh, this is Shabri. We have two more team members, Navneet and Nishad, who unfortunately couldn't be here due to previous commitments. I'd also like to thank you, who came and spoke with us yesterday, and Mr. Steven, who helped us with a little bit of the medical, technical stuff. And I'll let Shabri get started. Oh yeah,
Well, sorry about that initial hiccup, but then we discovered two initial problems. So the polypharmacy blind spot. So there are a few people who suffer from long-term illnesses, right? Like diabetes or high blood pressure. And they often have short-term illnesses like headaches and stuff. So they often buy these over-the-counter medicines, and it often counteracts with these long-term medications. And they unknowingly have these medicines without consulting a GP. And another thing is the health literacy gap. So patients receive blood reports, tests, and they often receive medicines to fix whatever the doctor had observed in this reports. But then it just feels like medical jargon. It just feels like word vomit to the patient, right? They're eating medicine A, but then what does it do? So these were the two problems we discovered, and we decided to build a tool that is for everyone. So if you're elderly, you can't use a phone properly, or if you're nearsighted, or essentially if you're just struggling with English, it's just a tool that could help you all. So we decided to make PatientOS, which is a one suite with two tools, a medication safety screener and a medical history insight provider. So the first one, essentially, you just need to take a phone, and then if you're feeling lazy, you can just snap a picture of your prescriptions or whatever tool you're picking up, or if you're feeling tech savvy, you can just type them all out. And then you can also just type in whatever you want to heal, like a headache or a sore throat or something like that, and the model would run and would verify if one of the medicines counteracts with the other, and then it could it lead to further serious consequences or if it's safe to take. The next one essentially just dumbs it down. It tells you why medicine A was prescribed to you by the doctor to fix certain issues. So the system was built with privacy in mind. So essentially any sort of prescription you upload will not get saved, and the AI does not diagnose the people per se. It just filters in the information, and it doesn't give you an explicit diagnosis. And it also doesn't scare the user because, especially when we've all observed in Google, right? You Google a medicine and suddenly it says cancer. You're like, essentially it's like, yeah, go get in the coffin. It just feels like that. So we don't want to do that. So the ideal implementation, we want to, have tie-ups with booths or something. So they could be QR codes or no. QR codes to just spread the app, and then we want to ensure compliance with MHRA, because since it's a digital application that is an SMD, software as a medical device, we want to ensure that it's compliant with the local legislation. And we also, instead of using AI, we want to integrate APIs like BNF APIs or any well-reputed peer-reviewed APIs that could verify the information accurately without having to rely on AI. While AI is pretty accurate, we don't want to risk the chance of hallucination as low as it may be. So now we'll just move on to the live demo.
Right, so I have only 10 seconds remaining, so I don't know what demo I'm going to be able to do, but essentially I'm going to start with, well, I just request more time because I'm the last team, so, This is, well, alright, can I request more time? Because we're technically two different pitches. Is that not allowed?
Somebody use your question time to see the demo though.
Yeah, can I use the question? Alright, I'll do the demo. So this is a report which I got, this is for me, from a few years back or like a months back. And I've also given some different reports within it for me. And this is what it's supposed to tell me: the summary, the key findings, and what has changed since the last visit. Basically, it tells me what has worsened and what has improved. My vitamin D has improved, my vitamin B12 has improved, but my TLC, my fasting glucose, my HbA1c, and my CRP, they have all worsened in from the previous date. So this is technically what it's supposed to do. Like, it's supposed to take all your reports, all your blood reports, all your other fluid reports, go through the dates, the times, the different values it has, and then it's supposed to give you a report on how you have improved or how you have worsened across the time. So vitamin D has improved from 5.6 to 63.83, right? And this is also
the. Want to maybe go on and take some questions?
Yeah.
Last thing. So this is what the medication, the polypharmacy tool is supposed to do. So you're currently taking paracetamol and you're planning to take cetirizine. So there's no known interaction between these two. So it gives you if there's any harsh side effect or not, and it also gives you a note on the usage. But for example, if you take something like warfarin and with aspirin, that can cause harm, and it tells you why that thing is
Question.
right.
Yeah.
Interested, how far did you get with like scraping things or any interactions with the BNF and that kind of stuff? This is presumably mocked information.
Yeah, this is mocked information. Unfortunately, we couldn't find an efficient API that we could scrape and then find the relationships between the two. There was one or two APIs, but then it asked for like $10,000 or something.
And the BNF requires us to have certain certifications which we really don't have right now as students. But if we really want to make this a thing, we would get into getting those certifications and licenses. The other thing is, why not use BNF directly? So that was another thing which I thought of. The thing is, if you look up one medication, it gives you 1,000 clashes. It doesn't give you the clash you're looking for. If you're taking warfarin already, but if you want to take aspirin and you look at the warfarin listing on BNF, which is already provided, you'll have to go through a whole list.
If I just woke up and listened to that, I thought he was just giving out spells from Harry Potter or something like that.
So yeah, that's the other thing. This is just before I stop.